Hello, you'll be having an interesting time out getting to know how to file withheld VAT. This is where a client acts on behalf of the tax authority, whereby the 7.5% of VAT added on goods and services are withheld by them. So let's go into it and see how we do that. So we switch to the site NRS self-service. Here it is. Okay, we log in with the credential via REV360. So I put on the company's email and password. So right here is the interface. So I'm selecting Self Tax Filing to see the taxes due for the company. So right up here is 2 taxes due. So I scroll downward. Okay, so we have tax incentive and VAT tax due. So I'm selecting VAT. So right here is where you upload your VAT assessment. So before you do that, you possibly download the VAT template so that you input your assessment for the period you are filing for. So I'm downloading the template. So basically it's an Excel file. So right up here I'm opening the file. Okay, yes, this is the Excel template where I input the assessment for the VAT for the month. Okay, at the first sheet is explanatory note on how to input your assessment, followed by VAT return form where it summarizes all the assessment you input. So the VAT return form, this is where the summary of everything. So right here where we're using is the sales. So the customer is a government agency basically, so Ministry of Works and Infrastructure in Oka. This is a live example of a construction company based in Anambra State. So I input the customers. Right, so the tax ID, I don't have it. So imputing the product name, that's construction service based. So I'm selecting 0 because it's a VATable service. So description of the product as construction of Aguleri Ono to Aguleri Otu Road. So Anambra State, the place of sale. The local government is Anambra East. Then the sales income. So the next transaction, still Ministry of Works. So still on construction, I'm copying and pasting right there for the time. So 0 as a VATed services. Then description of the product. The place is Anambra State. So local government, so let me have this corrected. This construction of Achina as description of the product. Construction of Enugu Umonia to Achina Road as the description of the construction done by this company in Anambra State. So the local government where it was consumed, that should be Orumba. Okay, right here is Orumba South. Okay, I will impute the amount, the income. but it will be exclusive of the VAT, meaning that the amount of VAT will not be included, just the value of the sale. So right here, so it's the values, the first one is 433,096,247.8, while the second income from the construction is 129,433,273. So now I switch to the side that matters the most, which is the sales to MDAs. That's where, because this is a withheld form of VAT, so now I'm filling in for the agency, which is the government or the client that withheld the amount of VAT that I was supposed to remit as an input VAT. So this is where I input the details. So at the sheet F of the Excel template. So right away I'm doing that. So Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, okay. Anambra State. The nature of transaction is basically construction. Then the date. Okay. This is 24th of June. So the currency name, basically Naira. Then the invoice value. This is the total amount in the invoice. Then the exchange rate basically is 1 to 1, because it's Naira against Naira. And the invoice value as well. So as you can see, it automatically calculates the output VAT. So the next detail for the second transaction. So I'm copying, because I'm dealing with the same client, Ministry of Works. The address, Anambra State, same construction, then the date of transaction. Okay, right up here, the currency is Naira, the exchange rate 1 to 1. So I enter the invoice value, exchange rate 1 to 1. So the invoice value right here. So automatically I'm having the output VAT, right? So back to the return form. As you can see, the total sales income is amounting to 562,529,520. So the VAT is a 7.5% of it. So right over there it is. So this is the summary of the assessment. So I need to save the file. So this is the template. So after inputting the assessment, then I upload at the portal. So I need to save the file so that I can select it. So alright, I'm switching to the internet, because it's depending on how you want it. You can actually download the template, then you input the assessment, then you turn on your internet, because you can basically do them offline. So I'm switching back to the internet, connecting my hotspot. So it's up. So I'm having some pop-up, which I'm not sure about. So I'm not trying to save right now, but I will have to save it in a proper way that there wouldn't be issues ahead. Alright, so take this one off, go to the file, then save as. So I need to get sure that I save it properly. So let me save it as June VAT. Right, it's saved on my desktop. So I can now exit. Then right here is a portal where I will upload the template. So I need to refresh. So I'm going to select the template I just input all my assessment on. So I saved it on desktop as June VAT. So let me look for it. The desktop, then get down. Okay, right here is it, the June VAT. So it's up. So I'm uploading the assessment right away. Correct, absolutely. So the assessment is uploaded successfully. Alright, so let me go down and see what I'm having. So right up here, sales total is up. The amount of VAT withheld is up already. So now I have to accept if everything seems right the way I imply them to be. Alright, so I'm getting them the way they should. So I'm going to accept the declaration of the input. Alright, then I have to file right away. Alright, you can see top there, returns filed successfully. Alright, back to the interface, the portal. So initially I had 2 taxes due, which is the CIT incentive and the VAT for the month. But right now I've filed up the VAT for the month, so I'm having the CIT incentive less. Alright, so that's about that. So basically, to file your withheld VAT, which most of the times happens when you are dealing with a government agency. So they withheld the 7.5% of VAT that you added on the services and or the product you sell to them. So that's about it. Alright, so I'm returning to self-tax filing. Okay, right up here at the left hand corner is just 1 tax is due, the tax incentive, CIT. Alright, so that's about that on filing withheld VAT.